Today I want to talk to you about the HX Outdoors Rock Apex. It's a fixed blade outdoor slash survival knife that is a full tang fixed blade made with DC 53 steel, comes with a fire steel on the sheath, all that for a pretty reasonable price of less than $90. I was sent it by the company and I ran it through its paces, not just to unbox, but everything else. Let's check it out. Oh, so HX Outdoors sent me their Rock Apex survival slash bushcraft knife. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of my knife history before I go too far, but let's open it up and see what the heck this bad boy comes with. Oh, this is hard to open. There we go. There we go. All right. So open it up. We get... Every man deserves an exceptional knife. What about women? And their barcodes, blah, blah, blah. Little cloth. The knife itself, your snack pack. We'll set the case aside. Ooh. Plasticky wrapped. Now, guys, this is a Chinese-made knife. It is. So don't flip out about that. But you've got a full tang construction, and it is DC3 steel. Now, interesting thing about DC53 is it's sort of like D2 a little bit. And now, cue the people who know that I'm not the biggest fan of D2 steel. DC53 is a carbon steel. It is more tough. The toughness is greater than D2 steel. And I think this is heat treated, so I want to say somewhere around 58, 59. At least that's the claim. So it should be tough. Now, it may not hold an edge forever and ever. Oh, let's see, we've got some sort of Kydex or polymer sheath. It comes with a ferro steel. We'll test that. Okay, so it doesn't fall out easily. And even without the snap, retention's pretty good on the sheath itself. Let's since we got it out here, let's test it for sharpness. Let me get a sharpness testing sheet to try it out with. All right, a chunk of paper from the Uline catalog. Let's see what sort of sharpness it comes with. Yeah, reasonable. Oh yeah. Okay, so it comes from the factory reasonably sharp. So don't hate that. My history with fixed blade knives is somewhat of a sordid one. We're going to take a quick trip down memory lane. I apologize for that. So I'll put a timestamp if you don't want the backstory where you can skip ahead to. But you know, if we look at my history with fixed blade knives, this is a reasonable size knife, right? I think it's about a 3.8 inch blade. Yeah, so it's not a beast. You know, it is. You can choke up on it. There's a blank spot back here for the fire steel. We'll test that in a little bit, obviously. But this is a reasonable size knife and probably eminently more suitable for outdoor activities than some of the ones that I have previously played with. If you look, guys, like here's one example. Freaking a cold steel Warcraft Tonto. Cool and all. Cool in the gang. Also carbon steel, by the way. I want to say this is one of the V steels. Off the top of my head, don't remember. But this is great. You can pound it through stuff. Not a problem. But it's a beast, right? Like you're talking like blade length, it's a lot. You're probably not going to carry this knife around. You're just not. Maybe. And then if we look at some of the others, like here's one I don't even think you can get anymore, but the Black Hawk Tang. Also a carbon steel, and same thing, you could use it for bushcraft. You could, you know, but man, it's double edged. It's kind of in effect as a dagger, which means that there's a lot of jurisdictions where you get into some sort of goofy ass legal trouble if you carry it. Hey, and I'm not a fan of knife laws in general. I think they're all stupid, much like gun laws. Like freaking, just let people have what they want. Just don't do dirt. And that's don't do crime. I don't care. Like possession of something shouldn't be a crime. I digress. It's too big for most purposes, right? So you've got another issue. Oh, and the carbon steel this thing's made out of tends to tarnish very rapidly. It's gotten me many times. And then if you want to talk about redonkulous, this CRKT monster here, it's cool, Kin Onion Redemption. You're not going to carry this knife. You're just not, okay? Cool knife, fun knife. I don't even think this one's quite full tang. I think it's partial tang. So, man, I'd be really leery of subjecting it to any serious abuse. This is more collector's edition than anything. I mean, you can tell that I haven't really done any real hard use with it, nor am I inclined to. So, like I said, these are collector's items, not what I'd consider good for a real woodsman, survival, bushcraft kind of stuff. And this one, I think, really will do that. If we look at it, it's a reasonable size. Like you could put this on your belt, you can carry it with you. No one's going to accuse you of being like freaking crazy, because trust me, I get getting accused of being crazy because I got a little crazy in me. I am curious to see if that fire steel will stay. Yeah, I guess it will. So like I said, we're going to take this out. We're going to do a little bit of, basic bushcraft, maybe some feather sticks, maybe see how this thing sparks. We'll try it out. We'll see what we get. Okay, guys. So look, unboxing aside, that it all looks nice. It's pretty, comes with all the little goodies. The box presentation's cool, but does it perform? That's the real question. So in order to try and find out, I took it upon myself to hit it with some tests. I cut boxes with it. I chopped branches with it. I did some whittling. I did some batoning, and I did some things that were probably asking a lot for a blade this size. Like some of the things I was doing with it were legitimately probably the purview of knives. It probably should be like double the size of this. So in short, guys, I really abused this knife. I kind of went above and beyond what I think a lot of people are going to do with this knife. And I don't know if you can tell, if you can see, but guys, there's a lot of scuffing on the coating, okay? If you're looking to keep a knife pristine, you probably don't want to do what I did with this knife. And I was really kind of surprised. It held up really well. The handle scales didn't come loose during any of this abusive testing. And the sharpness, guys, I haven't resharpened this knife since I got it, even after all of those tests. And let's check it out. So guys, we got the sharpness testing medium catalog page from the U-line. Let's see what happens. Still, it's dragging a little bit, but guys, it's still pretty darn sharp, and I was not kind to this knife. Is it shaving sharp at this point? Nah. Could I probably bring it back with a strop or just a little quick sharpen? I'm betting yes. Yeah, there we go. So still reasonably sharp. Shaving sharp at this point? No. Would I expect it to be after running it through its paces like I did? Also, no. There's no way. But guys, it's a really nice size. I got a pretty good size hand. Fits my hand nicely. You can choke up on it. They've got a little finger choil on it. I don't see any signs of tarnish on the blade itself. And I didn't particularly clean it. I wiped it off after I ran it through its paces. It is a carbon steel, so it is going to tarnish if you don't care for it. And like I said, once I beat up the coating, I'm sure that probably isn't helping matters any, but I'm not seeing any signs of that. DC53 steel, just like I said before, it's been compared to D2. I don't know the metallurgy. Somebody who's a lot smarter than me could probably chime in and tell you about where DC53 is changed from a D2. And this is not hardened to a really high point. Like, it's not up in the 60s. It's in the high 50s in terms of its hardness scale. So, keep all that in mind. But for a knife at this price point, guys, I thought it performed really well. In fact, probably above its price point. I was really kind of surprised. Now where it falls down, because look, I'm not going to tell you it's perfect. It's certainly not. But the sheath itself is okay. It does have a little drain hole in the back. I don't know if you can see that, so that if it gets water in there, it can drain out. It was reasonable on the belt, but if I'm going to give it a ding, the fire steel, how it is retained on the sheath itself, it can come loose really easily. So guys, if I was going to carry this for realsies, I would probably wrap a Ranger band or a rubber band around the fire steel and the whole sheath itself to kind of keep it from coming out. Simple modification and a cheap modification. You don't have to do anything crazy. Otherwise, I think the sheath quality is actually pretty decent, and the amount of retention that you get in the sheath itself is good enough to where you don't really necessarily need the additional snap to retain it. But that's always a good thing. I don't think, you know, for an outdoors knife, I ever don't want something like this. But like I said, if you pull the knife, there is definitely positive retention. I like that. The belt hanger is such that it was reasonable on my belt. I didn't find it to be uncomfortable in that regard. It's really only got one carry method though, and that's hanging vertically from your belt. Obviously with the holes in the sheath, you could probably mount it to a strap or something like that with paracord if you wanted to do so. But I'm just, you know, I'm the kind of kid that I just throw it on my belt and I go. You're not going to be able to do the scout carry or horizontal carry very easily on your belt unless you want to do some modification or additions or changes to the sheath. Guys, I got to mention, HX Outdoors sent me this knife. I had exceptionally low expectations when I got it. Like, I was not expecting it to be a good knife. I was leery, but I've got to tell you, I was pleasantly surprised. Now, guys, this is a Chinese-made knife. It is. I'm not trying to sell you the dream and tell you this is USA-made. A lot of the USA-made fixed blades, especially with the more premium steels, start to command a very premium price point. So this kind of fits somewhere in the middle. I know you can get Mora and some of the other knives for cheaper, and those are good knives, no lie, Scandi grind and everything. But this is a little bigger, a little more durable. And then when you start talking about getting into the SEs, now you're starting to talk about a higher price point. SE is an excellent knife, by the way. Once again, I wouldn't put it down, but maybe you don't want to spend SE money. So the HX Outdoors, at least the Rock Apex, might be something you want to look at. Now, HX Outdoors has a ton of knives on their website. I was looking at them, and some of them, let's just say they look less useful to me. They may appeal to you aesthetically, but my initial run with an HX Outdoors knife was actually pretty darn decent, guys. I was pleasantly surprised, and I'd try another one again in the future. I wouldn't say no, and I think that, guys, if this knife meets your needs, then I wouldn't tell you to stray away from it. I think it's a solid knife at a solid price point. I like it a lot. I won't belabor this any longer. I know the unbox probably took a little longer, and I apologize for the comparison to the other big monstrous knives. You know, I've got a sickness. What can I say? I have that issue where sometimes I just buy things that visually appeal to me. This is not one of those wicked crazy knives. It just looks like a good utilitarian outdoor knife. Even with the hollow kind of tang there, it is still a full tang. I should mention, by the way, lastly, I almost forgot, when I was chopping, whittling, cutting, at no point did I feel any real hot spots or blisters with this handle. Despite the kind of futuristic look of the handle, it's really kind of comfortable. Obviously, when I was batoning, I was wearing a glove, because when you're batoning, you should probably wear a glove. You really should, on the hand that's holding the knife, for obvious reasons, because I don't want you to injure yourself. In general, guys, when it comes to the stuff that I did, the abusive testing, I don't necessarily advocate that you do that, because there is always a danger when we start smacking sharp objects and beating them through other things. So please be safe if you decide to do any outdoors tasks or any utilitarian tasks with a knife like this. But in general, guys, if a knife like this meets your needs, I think it's good to go. I'm gonna end this review here. Overall, solid knife. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll put a link for this down in the description. Any links that I have in my description, they're going to be affiliate links, guys. I'm going to try and find you the best price on any of these, but just understand that when you click on them and you buy through them, you are helping out the channel, and that I usually end up getting at least some small amount of cash to do what I'm doing here. And even if you don't want to buy anything that I'm currently showing you, if you hit any of my Amazon links and you go shopping, I will get some very small stipend from that. It's one of the things that allows me to test wearables like this Amazfit and others, because a lot of times, especially more established companies, they don't know I exist. And I'm not one of the huge influencers that has, like, you know, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. My videos don't get hundreds of thousands of views. If a video of mine gets 10 to 20,000 views, I'm usually pretty happy about that. And I'm, you know, where I'm at in my whole YouTube arc. So like I said, guys, those links, they help me out. Heck, you watching up to this point helps me out quite a bit as well. Your time is valuable, and I get that. So if you're still watching, I really appreciate you. Thank you very much. Guys, I'll end this here. Well, no, actually, I want one last thing. If you do like this video or content like this, knives, flashlights, some other gear, occasional firearms content, and every now and again fitness content, because I'm an aging athlete trying to stay at least reasonably lean and not die young, please do the YouTube things like subscribe, hit the notification bell. Those always help me out as well. And anytime my subscriber count goes up, it makes me feel a little bit better about myself. You know, if I'm having a bad day and I see the numbers go up, it's a little bit of joy in my otherwise bleak and unfulfilling life. Kidding about that. Guys, take care, stay safe, and I will talk to you soon.
Get him, Jay.
Right, hold on. Tulip, come over here. Are you happy that you got your toy too? We got pets on you and pets on Gus. Do you want pets too, Gus? Come here, buddy. Come here.